Forbidden Door is this Sunday. It's $50 to purchase the pay-per-view, and there's nothing like a taped AEW collision full of bums for New Japan and CMLL that will make you decide whether or not to part ways with your hard-earned cash. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. Is this the show that's going to make you decide? Is this the show that's going to give you that yes or no answer that you need to determine whether or not you're going to pay $50 to watch AEW Forbidden Door? Is it AEW Forbidden Door? Is it New Japan Forbidden Door? Or is it a combination of the two? Because we keep hearing this is a joint promotion. It doesn't feel like a joint promotion. It feels like an AEW pay-per-view with just a bunch of guys from New Japan. Like, where's the New Japan owner? Why is he never involved? Why is he never there? Nobody's really there. It's not like Tony Khan's. And even when you look at AEW, who actually runs this shit? I know we've got Christopher Daniels pretending to be standing in or whatever for Tony Khan, but it doesn't feel like this is it. It just feels like you get a bunch of guys turning up for random fucking matches. That's it.
That is it. But I'm feeling Shane McMahon on Sunday. I'm feeling Shane McMahon tomorrow. Here comes the money.
See, that would truly be the Forbidden Door. You can bring as many guys from Japan in as you want. Nothing is going to have that impact that a McMahon. A McMahon going to AEW is the true Forbidden Door. Not quite as much as a McMahon turning up in WCW 25 years ago, but I still think Shane turning up in AEW would be massive. I know now that WWE's working with TNA and that they're allowing their wrestlers. I mean, AJ is wrestling in Japan soon, and you've got another female wrestling somewhere. Is it Io Sky or something wrestling in Japan as well? I know WWE are doing this, but I still think Shane turning up at All Elite Wrestling would be massive.
It would be, but I think Tony Khan would treat him like he's another guy on the roster. I don't think he'd put him in a 40 role. Oh, I can't have McMahon running my company sort of thing. He's a loser. It'd be best for business, but here, let's get down to business.
Yeah,
take an L off MC double L, because that's what this show gets, an L.
An L for loser, right? This show was taped, and we tried watching it, and let's just say, I don't know how to put this without getting sued.
What's that thing called? Fight TV?
Aye, our choice of viewing was disrupted multiple times, and we kind of got to not the halfway point, probably got about 40 minutes into the show, and I thought, right, you know what? If we can't watch it properly, and the results are already available, and it's taped, and we know that nothing interesting happens, then let's just review the opening 40 minutes, and we will look at the results. So that's what we're going to do here. Also, I want to bring up SmackDown. Apparently, WWE have big issues with Fox because Fox were censoring a lot of the stuff, and like probably every 5-10 minutes you were getting a black screen last night on SmackDown. Now, us being in the UK, BT Sport, is it BT Sport we have it on?
TNT Sport.
TNT Sport.
Which was BT at one point.
We don't have that issue, so I'm not quite sure what was happening in America, but there was definitely an issue trying to watch Collision tonight, and it made it pretty much unwatchable for us.
Yeah, there was an issue for us tonight. As for Fox, don't really know why. What was censor-worthy last night? There was no blood. Were fat guys not allowed to
Apparently the crowd were chanting and they kept going black screen. Don't know what they were chanting, but...
Oh, they were chanting "fuck you, Solo." Is that how embarrassing wrestling is? Even the crowd, they can't have chant? Nah, that's mental. But anyway, let's get stuck into Collision. There was no fuck yous tonight for Collision, the crowd. It was more a fuck you from the guy writing the show and Tony Khan, because what did we kick off with, folks? Orange Cassidy and Tomohiro Ishii, who was dressed more for a boxing match than a wrestling match.
This guy is weird. He's got like the stature of a midget. I don't quite understand it. Like a chubby midget. He's like a very shit Japanese version of Taz.
He's got the stature of a midget, but the chest of a fridge.
Pretty strange. They were taking on TMDK's Robbie Eagles and Shane Haste. How can someone care about this? This is pish.
No, it is pish, and you know, Macho Man would turn in his grave, man, if he's seen what fucking Orange Cassidy's doing to the elbow drop.
People are complaining about us giving SmackDown a 1, and seeing you look at this show, like, I can understand why.
Well, don't hold it for a 1 on this show.
But you know what? I mean, I would like everybody else to try watching wrestling and at 3 AM try to be positive about it.
Exactly.
Sorry, living in the States and maybe SmackDown finishes at a normal time at 10. Seeing you sat up to 3 AM watching SmackDown and just to get like one good thing at the end, then sometimes
No, SmackDown was pissed last night. People creaming their pants because Cody Rhodes beat up a bunch of fucking 4-foot security guards. This is the best segment I've ever seen. People are labelling it on Twitter. Hi, what?
I thought we constructively criticised it, but anyway, right. So that happens. He wins. Orange Cassidy, arguably, I think maybe my most hated guy in AEW. If I had to look at AEW since it started, I think he's the one guy I'd like to take out it.
I agree. I will never like this guy.
As much as I don't like the Bucks, at least I think their style, they work their style, they do it pretty well. I don't like their style, but they do it pretty well. I'm not going to sit here and say the Bucks are fucking useless, right? I'm not a big fan of them, but...
Could you not argue, though, that the style this prick does? He does it pretty well.
It's a shite style, though, and I'm not saying the Bucks isn't, but...
Yeah, I think
this guy takes
I think I've left you on double one.
This guy takes a piss out of wrestling.
No, he does. But so do the Bucks. This guy's worse, I get that, but... everybody in this company takes a piss out of wrestling.
Well, you can decide who you hate the most. For me, it's this guy.
No, it's this guy too, but...
We then get Jericho turning up. Hey, guys. Hey, who wrapped your wrist? Oh, the trainer. The trainer wrapped my wrist. They didn't do a good job, guys. Then he goes in and speaks to... Hey, trainer, when you're wrapping a wrist, you need to wrap it 3 times to make the right wrist nice and tight and secure. And then he says, hey, Brian, here's a tip for you. If you ever have to go to the trainer's office, make sure you steal some tape. Then you don't have to pay for it later. Thanks, guys. Walks off, and Brian Keith doesn't steal just like one roll of tape. He steals like a whole box of tape. And I mean, this Jericho stuff, let's not pretend it's fucking good. It's kind of like, it's cringy entertainment, I guess.
Brian Keith, broken wing. Do you recall, did he break his arm on Dynamite or something?
I don't know, but I think it's going to take more than tape. The guy's in a sling, so I don't think he really needs tape right now. But yeah, I just don't get it. Jericho last week said, he does this for the young guys. Big Cass is fucking 37.
Hold on here, right? Actually, we need to talk about the next thing for
Big Cass, 37.
That branch is about to snap.
Yeah.
His legs do look like branches, to be fair.
You know what? Dude, I think he's got tree-trunk legs. Or, you know, like you used to in WWE.
I know, but you don't remember the match with Enzo? His leg went.
Oh, God.
He's kind of got, like, Nash legs. Anyway.
You know what? I would have to say, I know a lot of people didn't like the guy. I think Enzo is probably the most underrated wrestler in the past decade.
I would say so.
I think, see, when I think of someone that legitimately could have been a star, I think WWE fucking dropped the ball big time. I think Enzo is way more charismatic than LA Knight. And I like LA Knight, but for me, Enzo is the only guy that I've seen in the past, like, decade that had, like, fucking ready-made. The guy was like a superstar, but first, you know, whatever. I mean, he got screwed, that, you know, lying person, whatever. Already made a video on her that got a lot of heat back in the day, so I'm not going to repeat all that shit, but she ruined his career. He never got another chance. I don't get it. The guy, you know what I mean? The guy came out and he was not guilty, and it was proved that she lied, and WWE never allowed him back in. I know a lot of people don't like him, and you've got Simon Gotch coming out and saying the guy sucked in the ring. We will remember Enzo. We will. No one's going to remember. Who's talking about Simon fucking Gotch?
Who the fuck is Simon Gotch? Is he a part of the Invincibles?
Todd Villains.
Aye, that was it. Anyway, right, we've got Stephanie Fager defeating Lady Frost in a non-title match. Mercedes Moné was out there.
She was. Mercedes Moné was out to get a closer look. This was Stephanie Fager's first match in AEW. Again, she's wrestling at Forbidden Door tomorrow. You have to pay $50 to watch it. And the first time we see her in AEW is a taped show 24 hours before the pay-per-view. Now, I think she might have appeared a couple of weeks ago where she literally just stood at the top of the ramp. I'm not sure if that's true or not. But even then, it just doesn't make any sense that these people are coming in with you have no idea who they are. It just doesn't work. Like, see when they had ECW One Night Stand, the ECW guys were already established.
Over.
They were aiming for that ECW fan base. Who's this aiming for? I know you could argue it's aiming for the New Japan or the CMLL, but their fan bases don't exist.
No.
There's a reason why they don't do good numbers.
I know who Japan is. See this CMLL? They need to drop it. It sounds like a fucking button on the laptop. Control-Delete. But let's talk about these two matches, right?
Yeah, well, I think CMLL used to work with TNA, and that
sums up
tells
for
you all
me.
you need to know.
Right, Serena Deeb defeats Kelly Madden, and Hichichiro defeats Kevin Blackwood. This rating is going to go to toast.
Well, Hitachirio is taking on John Moxley, so I guess they need to try and get him some wins. But
Who the fuck's Kevin Blackwood?
Well, I mean, who are any
That
of these
sounds
guys?
like an attorney.
I think Collision's probably worse than Rampage. And I don't know the last time I watched Rampage. But when I look at the Rampage results, the wrestlers on it don't seem as bad as Collision is literally like maybe 2 matches with like wrestlers for Dynamite, and every other match is a squash match. A fucking squash match.
Why is this taped, by the way? It's because they couldn't be arsed filming it live before the pay-per-view?
Probably. I mean, look, does this deserve to be a live show?
No, it doesn't, but you know what the problem is when you tape a show? The rating will go down automatically because people know the spoilers, like us two. You know what I mean? And that's people are not going to tune it. I think they could be on for a very low rating with this show. Mince is the word.
Owen Hart Foundation Women's Tournament quarterfinals. Hikira Shishida defeated Diano Perazzo. Perazzo attacked Shida after the match. Thunder Rosa made the save. I think this was Shida's first match back in AEW, probably this year. I know that the Brad Rule's a big fan of Hikaru Shida, so I mean, shout out to him. If that's a name anyone's familiar with.
Here, he uploaded a video a couple of weeks ago.
The Brad Rules.
It wasn't wrestling, it was a movie review.
So there you go. The Brad Rule's getting a shout out here on the Fog Wrestling channel. He likes Shida. I'm not really that bothered,
he likes
to be honest.
Dragon Ball Z as well.
Well, that's true. And then we got El Phantom Tamso, Jack Perry, and Konshuki Takeshita taking on Mark Briscoe, Leo Rush, and Dante Martin. Why the fuck is Jack Perry in this 6-man tag? This was supposed to be the scapegoat, the man that got screwed by AEW, and now he's in a match taking on Leo Rush and Dante Martin. I mean, who is the odd man out here? I think Mark Briscoe and Take a Shitter might be in a feud. I don't even know. Is that true? Are they? Who's feuding? Is this just a random thrown together 6-man?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, this guy sounds like pharmacy in fucking Spanish. El Fantasmismo.
I've no issue with Tony Khan throwing 6 bums in a match.
I think that's why Mark Briscoe's in it. He thinks he can go to the pharmacy to get his meth.
Possibly. Like, I have no issue with Tony Khan throwing a 6-man tag together, but when you're trying to portray Jack Perry as a top guy,
he can't be in this.
How can you throw him in this?
How can half of these guys even be on television? This is a disgrace.
Anyway, guys, that's it. Shite show. Watched about 40 minutes of it, and then just looked at the results because I wasn't watching this shitey live television broadcast because it wasn't really working correctly. I blame the wind. I don't know. It could have been twisters or something.
Twist and shout.
Twist and shout.
Come on, baby now.
Anyway, 0 out of 10 for me. Garbage.
0 out of 10 for me. You know what? Maybe a 1 for SmackDown was a wee bit harsh, but this show gets a 0. The numbers don't lie. They're even themselves out.
Should Collision be scrapped, or does AEW need a brand split? I think AEW's got that many people. I think a brand split's a good idea for AEW.
I don't know what AEW needs. It needs a nuclear bomb.
There you go, guys. That's it. We'll catch you in the next one. This show was absolutely awful. Don't really want to watch Forbidden Door or pay for Forbidden Door, but
hopefully the win's alright for them, alright.
Hopefully,
we'll see what happens.
Anyway, guys, there you go.
50 quid up.
Pay for your pay-per-views. Till next time, peace.